Is Thomas Frank actually failing at Tottenham, or is he being sabotaged by the ghost of Spurs' past? Right now, the Frank out campaign is louder than ever after back-to-back draws with Brentford and Sunderland left Spurs sitting 11th in the table. The fans are singing for the legends of the past, but the board is looking at a very different list of names. By the end of this video, I'm going to reveal the 3 managers currently being sounded out by ENIC, including a world-class return that feels written in the stars, and one wildcard candidate from the Bundesliga who could finally fix the tactical identity crisis at N17. The situation at Tottenham Hotspur Way is reaching a breaking point. It is January 2026, and the New Year, New Spurs promise has already evaporated. Thomas Frank's side has won just 2 of their last 11 Premier League matches. The football is being described as disaster, and the fans at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium have officially turned off, booing the team off twice in 4 days. Frank has admitted he isn't enjoying the job, citing a marathon of transitions. But while he talks about long-term projects, Tottenham board is looking at the Champions League places slipping 6 points away. There is a secret tension regarding the handling of Lucas Bergvall and the sale of Brennan Johnson that has fractured the relationship between the dugout and the boardroom. The search hasn't officially started, but the shortlists are already being typed up. The most obvious candidate, and the name on every Tottenham fan's lips, is Mauricio Pochettino. Currently leading the US national team toward the 2026 World Cup, Pochettino is the ultimate break-glass-in-case of emergency option. The logic is simple. He's the only manager in the last decade who truly united the club and gave the club freedom. The immediate impact: hiring Pochettino would instantly quiet the toxicity in the stands. He understands the Spurs way and has a proven track record of developing the exact type of young talent Frank is currently struggling to integrate. The reality check: here's the catch most people are missing. Pochettino is committed to the World Cup in 6 months. Bringing him in now would require a massive compensation package and him walking away from a career-defining tournament. But if Spurs want someone who can be more rigid, they have to look at the out-of-work elite, and there is one man who just became available after a chaotic stint in Manchester, and we already know the man. This is where the strongest analysis lives. Beyond the nostalgia of Pochettino, Spurs are looking for a tactical reset. The second candidate, Andoni Iraola. If ENIC wants to return to the high-pressing Ange ball-style excitement but with actual defensive structure, the Bournemouth boss is the prime target. Iraola's contract expires this summer, making him a relatively cheap and highly effective modern choice. Tactical consequences: Iraola would shift Spurs back to a 4-3-3 with high verticality, perfectly suited for Xavi Simons and Mohamed Kudus. Squad balance: unlike Frank, who is playing a cautious, mid-table style to survive, Iraola is a risk-taker. He would revitalise a stagnant midfield. The third candidate, the wildcard, Edin Terzić. The former Borussia Dortmund man is currently a free agent. He knows how to manage a big club with a massive, demanding fanbase, and he's proven he can reach a Champions League final with a squad that isn't the best in its league. Internal competition: Terzić is a man manager who specialises in us-against-the-world mentalities, something this fractured Spurs squad desperately needs. Long-term versus short-term: Terzić is a bridge. He provides the tactical flexibility to win now without demanding a £200 million squad overhaul. But all of this hinges on one single massive decision that Daniel Levy has to make before the Bournemouth game on Wednesday. The defining question isn't who is the best manager, it's what does Tottenham want to be? If Tottenham board sacks Thomas Frank now, he's admitting the stability project was a mistake and is effectively writing off the 2025-26 season as another year zero. If Spurs decide to stays with Frank, they will risk a total collapse and finishing in the bottom half for a decade. The choice is this: do you double down on a manager who is clearly miserable but has a process, or do you pivot to a high-energy, high-risk appointment like Iraola to save the European spots? There is a real consequence here. If they wait for Pochettino in the summer, they might not have a European carrot to dangle for the players they want to sign. My final insight: the board has already made their move. Reports suggest Mauricio Pochettino has been sounded out about a return after the World Cup, with an interim, possibly a club legend like Michael Carrick, taking the reins if Frank loses 2 to 3 matches in coming weeks. The truth is, Thomas Frank's cautious football has killed the one thing Spurs fans value most: hope. Watch the touchline on Wednesday. If Frank's body language remains defeated, his time is up. But I want to hear from you. Is it time to bring him home with Pochettino, or is Andoni Iraola the fresh start this club actually needs? Comment your thought below, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share.